And this particular application is being piloted right now in a Fortune 100 corporation. And the whole notion here is to establish and use grid technology to create a social network for real-time communication and collaboration in an enterprise environment. You're looking at the homepage for me, and this is a test system, but you can see here that what we've got is an activity stream that permits you to have all key activities or communications delivered to one point. And vis-a-vis the grid, we also have created an API to other systems so that other legacy systems that may not be portable are then pushed, those alerts and events are pushed into this grid, and all of a sudden those legacy systems that don't operate on a Mac, don't operate on an iPhone, don't operate on an Android, all of a sudden are elevated to a new stature, and depending on your role, you can take those seats from many other systems. So in this particular case, you can see that we can orient ourselves around colleagues who are following, who are followers, around work groups that can be departments, that can be committees, that can be geographic territories. And in the implementation that we're involved in today, the organization is a global company that is in 72 countries and has over 2 million distributors. One of the key issues that they wanted us to solve was the logistical nightmare and the production nightmare with training materials and marketing materials. They wanted us to leverage the grid technology and create an environment where they could share those materials to people who are authorized to have those materials shared to, but in a way where they couldn't download the materials and pirate the materials, which is a big issue for this company in a lot of different countries. So we created a central catalog of these materials, and again, these are accessible across 72 countries. Anywhere you can have access to the network, you can get on the grid, and with the proper permissions then, you can access the proper training materials. And again, they can administer this from a centralized point, and again, they don't worry about people pirating these materials. There's a real-time chat function, and then also one of the great capabilities we brought into this particular situation is this whole notion of peer-to-peer file sharing, meaning you're using the grid to manage the authority's permission and security without a central server and allowing you to do peer-to-peer file sharing. And what I can show you today as a quick example would be, unfortunately you're not going to be able to see this, so I can quickly say that I want to share something to Ted Wall, one of my colleagues. I'm going to share this photo, and I'm just going to drag and drop that photo in. And what would happen is Paul would get an alert in his activity stream, and it would say, John Andrews has just shared to you a file. Now, what's interesting is that file has been shared to the grid. It hasn't been shared to Ted Wall. And Ted, though, is the only one on the grid, if I've only authorized him to do it, that can access that file on the grid. And in this particular case, he can access that file on the grid for as long as I want him to access that file on the grid. But I can retract that file at any point in time. Remember, he can't download it, he can't upload it. And when I believe that he's done using it and I want to take it back to my hard drive for security purposes, I retract that share and pull that back off the grid, and Ted Wall and no one else has access to that particular set of content. In the same way, then, Ted can share items with me. And in this particular case, I'm going to move over to Ted's laptop. If Ted wants to share a photo that he just took a video at, and so I drag and drop that over to the share box, and as you can see, he's just shared this photo to me, and it's shared to me again on the grid, not shared to me on my PC, and I'm not able to download it. And so I've got a little bit of a network issue here, but anyhow, I can pull that photo off the grid. I can never take possession of it. And in the same way that I did before, Ted Wall can then say, I'm done sharing that, and I want to retract the share. and I just pulled that content off the grid, and it's still on the grid. So these two particular applications, or widgets, or gridlets as we like to call them, are again just one of thousands or hundreds of thousands of applications that we see in the future of leveraging the core technology that we're developing right now so that we can truly use the power of the edge computing devices today in a decentralized computing environment and do all the great